If you haven't noticed by now, John Denver really liked to spend time with the Muppets.
Welcome to a Rocky Mountain holiday with John Denver and the Muppets.
Rocky Mountain Holiday is a 1-hour musical variety special featuring John Denver and the Muppets, which aired in 1983. In the special, John and the Muppets go on a summer camping trip to the Rocky Mountain. The special begins with Denver and the Muppets singing "Hey Old Pal" before gathering their camping supplies. As they hike, they enjoy the Colorado scenery and mountain wildlife, share stories, sing songs, and reminisce about their fun experiences and misadventures on past camping trips. During this trip, though, it seems as though Fozzie isn't having the best of luck. He has a language barrier with a fellow bear.
She speaks Grizzly. And I only speak Paddington.
He mistakes snakes for worms. Try saying that 3 times fast. He thinks a wasp's nest is a football. And he lights his paw on fire. While they're on their way to the campsite, they come across the Jug Huggers singing an environmental song about picking up trash and throwing it away. It's a very catchy tune, and it's really the only part of the special that hammers in environmentalism. Kermit and the other Muppets set up camp beside a lake with a view of the Rockies, while Denver and Floyd go fishing and sing a duet rendition of "Gone Fishin'" with Zoot on saxophone. This is another very catchy song, and you might find yourself singing it long after watching this. Just so you know, Miss Piggy isn't part of the group in this special. So, when they all get back together, they have a flashback of their last camping trip with her, singing "She'll Be Coming Around the Mountain." After a scene about Ralph and an inner tube that pops, there's another flashback with Miss Piggy and John singing "Tumbling Tumbleweeds" and "Happy Trails." And I'll admit, hearing "Tumbling Tumbleweeds" automatically makes me think of The Big Lebowski. And that's not a bad thing. After that, there was originally a scene with John and Ralph that was cut from later releases. Let me explain what it was. It's a flashback with Ralph having a case of the hiccups, and John says that the cure for them is to fly in his airplane. And so it's a scene of them both flying, and they're doing stunts, and there's a couple parts where it does look like they're about to crash, which, for those of you who don't know, John Denver died in a plane crash. So it was removed from later releases. And I'm not going to show it just because, yeah. Having seen it, I will admit it is somewhat creepy, because this was years before the tragic accident. I'm sorry to bring this review down to a sad level, but it's just something I felt I needed to mention. After that, John sings "Durango Mountain Calabaro," which he wrote for the special. And I'm just gonna say, this is a really beautiful song. Like, very heartwarming, very touching, just a great song. As the sun sets, the group sings a bunch of campfire songs. They get into an encounter with a man-eating chicken, and then everyone starts to fall asleep. And that's where the special comes to an end. Overall, this is probably one of my favorite Muppet specials. It's just very relaxing. Even though it's not really zany, crazy, all the time, over the top Muppet style, it's that side of the Muppets where it's just very emotional and it's still very powerful. And still funny. There are a lot of great jokes in this, a lot of great gags. Now, thankfully, unlike a lot of the other specials I've talked about this month, this one is available on DVD. It's definitely check it out. If you're a fan of John Denver, you'll love it. I've never really listened to much of his music, but um, it certainly made me a fan of his. So when you get the time, check out John Denver and the Muppets Rocky Mountain Holiday.
It's